Let's talk about the running backs to add. This is a little bit more of a robust list and some better options for you. And you'll see the backfields combined here. It doesn't mean you should be adding Jeff Wilson or Adrian Peterson over some of the guys behind them. But in terms of D'Onta Foreman, who we did not see last week because the Titans run a bye. So, Heath, I'll come to you on this one. Give me the breakdown of the Titans backfield. D'Onta Foreman, Dontrell Hilliard, who's just above the threshold of the guys we typically talk about, so factor him in as well if he's available. And then Jeremy Mcnichols, who is hopefully coming back, or maybe not hopefully coming back, depending on which running back you're looking at here, from a concussion that cost him his Week 12 matchup.
Well, I mentioned earlier there's a dozen situations where we really just don't know. This is definitely chief among them. But I'm going to go with Dontrell Hilliard over D'Onta Foreman, both of them as borderline number 2 running backs. That's in full PPR. And non-PPR, I would take Foreman over Hilliard. But again, I like them both as top 25 running backs in both formats. I think there will be a ton of running back touches available in this game. Foreman probably the most likely Titan to score a touchdown.
Foreman is my priority off the waiver wire this week at any position. I really was encouraged by what I saw against the Patriots 2 weeks ago. They split reps 50-50, but 7 of the 8 snaps that the Titans had from 10 yards or closer, Foreman was in. 3rd and 4th downs, 8 of 14 of those snaps, D'Onta Foreman was in. I think he's what they want at running back. You think about Derrick Henry, you think about that physical punishing style. That's what Foreman can do. Hopefully he holds on to the football, but I think he can turn into a number 2 fantasy running back, and I like him as a strong number 2 fantasy running back this week in non-PPR leagues. Full PPR, it's going to be tougher to trust him, but he probably should still make the cut as a top 24 guy.
Oh, just close your eyes and hope it's the Derrick Henry show like we're used to seeing with D'Onta Foreman doing the work against the Jaguars, because he destroys Jacksonville. Henry did, at least. Maybe Foreman does the same thing. In the last 5 meetings between the Titans and the Jaguars, Derrick Henry, 8 rushing touchdowns. So it'd be nice to see D'Onta Foreman do anything close to that. All right, Heath, give me your take on the 49ers running backs, because Dave gave us his perspective on it. So if there is no Elijah Mitchell and potentially no Jeff Wilson, both guys dealing with injuries, how good can JaMychal Hasty maybe be or maybe not be?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if there's no Elijah Mitchell and there's no Jeff Wilson, we know there's no Trey Sermon, it might depend on whether there's Deebo Samuel. Because if Deebo comes back, then you could see Deebo taking a lot of those high-value running back touches, making Hasty more of just a flex. But if there's no Deebo also, then I think I have to view Hasty as a top 24 running back and somebody I'm probably starting, maybe even over the Titans.
And remember, the Bengals down one of their key linebackers, probably their best linebacker in Logan Wilson, so that could be a huge thing for the 49ers ground attack, which we know has been very good for the majority of the season. Dave, give me your perspective on the Seattle backfield. If there is a crowded situation, if Alex Collins is back, but Rashad Penny, Adrian Peterson, those 2 guys widely available, who's your favorite Seattle running back moving forward?
I want Rashad Penny on my bench if I can't get my hands on one of those Titans running backs, because I think he's got the most upside of this group. I have a hard time believing that Adrian Peterson's going to turn into a 15 touch per week guy for Seattle, or that he'll be successful doing it if he had those 15 touches. But I can kind of sort of see it for Penny, provided that he stays healthy. And I mean, that's the biggest if in the world with him, because he seems to get hurt every other game. But it's a great matchup against Houston. They've allowed a touchdown to a running back in 9 of their last 11 games. Over 100 rushing yards to teams, 6 of the last 9 games they played. It's a terrible run defense. If there was ever a matchup for 1 or 2 of these guys to be good, this is it. And it's Penny 1, Peterson 2.
All right, we'll see what happens again. They're hoping that Alex Collins can return. I don't know what that will mean in terms of the touches for Penny and for Peterson. If we could just put back up the list of the running backs, I just want to bring up a couple guys and just some notes there. Samaje Perine is on this list because Joe Mixon said he hurt his neck in the loss on Sunday against the Chargers, so just keep that in mind if you're looking at Perine. And then Amir Abdullah, remember, Christian McCaffrey's out. Chuba Hubbard expected to be the lead running back, but Amir Abdullah has been doing some nice things in the passing game in tandem with McCaffrey prior to his injury. He's somebody you should also be looking at, as well as the Eagles running backs to stash during their bye weeks.